It is finally over. Venus is cooked. No more. Big changes are coming this week, gang. I hope you are excited. It's your host with the most, Mr. Meyer with the fire. Welcome back, Fire Family, to another episode of Mars Day with Mark. This is your weekly astrology podcast. I'm going to put it on blast. If you're new here, welcome. If not, welcome back. So this is Tuesday to Tuesday. We're going to review the astrology of today, and we're going to go a week in advance. So we start on October 15th, and then we're going to end up on October 22nd. So beautiful time. Couple things to really highlight. It is our last week of Libra. We have Venus switching signs. She's finally out of the sunken place. It's full Scorpio time, and we got a full moon in the sign of Aries, and the sun is cooked. And oh my God, how are you guys doing? Let me know in the comments below. How is your day? How have these transits been affecting you? I don't usually do this, gang, but I'm actually going to go a week behind just to kind of show you what we just came from the last week. So, we are straight up finishing Libra season. We just had Jupiter go retrograde, Pluto just went direct, and eclipse season. So, lunar eclipses, setting new intentions, big changes. And right where we are today, the full moon is only a couple days away, guys. So I will just say, for a multitude of reasons, the energy is kind of intense. It's kind of chaotic right now. And your energy levels might be fluctuating. You might feel super charged up or super exhausted. I don't know how you feel. Let me know in the comments down below. I feel lit, but at the same time, like, man, it gets exhausting being the sun every single day. So you just got to take care of yourself. You got to protect your energy. I'm going to do the degree breakdown, and then we're going to go day by day and walk through the major highlights of the week. Okay. So here's the chart. Here is the map to be exact. This is based on my local geography and time. So ignore the house positions and the clock face. Just look at the planets and I'll show you and highlight them right quick. So today we have the sun at 23 Libra. Shout out my Libras. Shout out you, Eva. Any other Libras that I didn't mention, shout out to you. I'm only going to label the first one that came to my mind. Love you, bestie. Hope you're doing amazing. Your birthday's coming up. Yes, and Libra is a beautiful time. So pay attention, Libras, to this energy because you're celebrating your birthday or you might have just celebrated it. But this solar return is going to follow you for the rest of the year. So pay attention to this energy. But any magnitude, 23 degrees of Libra is where we start today. We have the moon at 1 degree of Aries. So once the moon hits about 24 Aries, we're going to have that full moon. The moon will be opposite the sun. We're very close. It's going to be about Thursday morning, Wednesday night, something to that effect. We've got Mercury in the sign of Scorpio at 3 degrees. Venus is at 27 Scorpio. Mars is at 22 degrees of Cancer. Jupiter retrograde at 21 Gemini. Saturn retrograde at 13 Pisces. Uranus is also retrograde. Damn, dude. It's like the cast of Thriller. Everybody's moonwalking. What the fuck? You've got Uranus going backwards at 26 Taurus. You've got Neptune moonwalking retrograde at 27 Pisces. Little sextile action, reaction. And we got Pluto direct. So, yeah, that's the combo breaker. Michael Jackson just stopped moonwalking and he's about to start um, earth walking, I guess you would call that. Yeah, 29 degrees of Capricorn. So a lot of interesting things to say. And very soon, I'm going to post a highlight reel for the whole Scorpio month in advance. So make sure you guys are subscribed and tuned in to watch that when it comes out very, very soon. Okay. But at any magnitude, that's probably going to come out on Monday, by the way, for our Moon Day magic. And also, the important thing to note is the nodes, because the nodes show where we go, the direction. Oh, yes. Perplexing. We can make this full of cryptic rhymes and it'll be divine. I'm not even trying. When it comes from your heart, you don't even got to start. You just got to let it out. Okay, that's about it. So the North Node in Aries at about 5 degrees. And I know that's a mouthful, but this is like the metaphysical weather. Like here we have Scranton, Pennsylvania, 65 degrees, and California, LA is like 200 degrees. They're cooked. All right. So this is 1 week in the future, October 22nd. Pay attention, and I'm going to run through the highlights, like I said, because we have something to talk about, right? So at the end of the week, next Tuesday, oh, it's going to be Scorpio time. We're about to get on demon time, y'all. Freaky deaky. Hello. I love this shit. So, seasonal transition, seasonal change. It's fall where I am. Depending on your hemisphere, it may be what you call spring. Yeah, it could be either spring or fall for you guys, depending on where you're tuning in. But for me, it's fall. It's getting crisp. I love it. Samhain is coming. Halloween, whatever you want to call it. I'm super jazzed because our next new moon is actually going to be on Halloween. Gang, new moon in Scorpio on Halloween. Oh man, I'm freaking excited. I hope you can feel it in my voice. Like, this is really cool. So, you have 30 days of Scorpio starting next week. So, get excited. Last week of Libra, which says, bye bye, Libra. Bye bye. Thanks for the beautiful time. This was an intense Libra season, by the way, guys, especially with Venus in the sign of Scorpio, like the whole time. It felt like Scorpio part one. And Scorpio in general will be like Scorpio part two. Interesting. So I love that. But also, you'll see the moon move up to Cancer about 13 degrees. We'll be almost to our last quarter phase, not quite. At the end of the week, we're going to have Mercury move up to 14 Scorpio. We'll move Venus up to 6 degrees of Sag. So she gets out of Scorpio. She's been down bad for a minute, y'all. And let's talk about it now, just so I can stay on one train of thought. The thing about Scorpio Venus is it's very beautiful and it's very intense. There's nothing right or wrong with any of these transits. They're just reflections of meaning in the cosmos, and what we do with it is what we do with it. But Venus is love, Scorpio is love intensified. Okay. And on one note, this can make us even more excited to love. It can add intention and power to connection. But at the same time, this forces everybody's love nature and value system, their Venus, to evolve. And the consequence of that would be shedding old skin, letting go of things that are dead, things that aren't really providing growth or sustenance. And these are archetypes, guys. So that's just one frame of reference to look at it. And there's a million other ways you could respond to this. I'm seeing for some people, it's like evolving their relationships, reaching deeper levels of intimacy. Some people are going to get love and fear confused, or love and power confused, and fear will ensue. And then some people may cling to that dead shit for dear life, regardless if it's working. Venus and Scorpio could be toxic love. You understand? And that's a trip. That's not fun. Where our love becomes attachment, it becomes possessiveness. Themes of jealousy or control or manipulation become a theme. And if you want a secret to Scorpio, guys, pay attention to Mars and Pluto. Scorpio is one of those lucky signs that has two different planetary rulers. And when you look at where the position of Mars and Pluto are, you'll be able to see more specifically what's happening with everything in Scorpio. All right? Little fun fact, little free gem for you today. And while Venus has been in Scorpio, Mars has been in Cancer the whole goddamn time. All right. And that generally says that emotions are much more intense, desires are stronger and sensual, and manipulation is at an all time high. So it's important to cut out the bullshit, not lie to ourselves, not lie to others, be intentional and be direct in the way we meet our needs so we don't seek control in indirect or, passive ways. You know, be honest is what Libra was trying to tell us this whole month. So I hope that we learned something from this month. I hope we learned something about love, about our true needs, about what we really value, and recognize what partnership really means to us. Because that's what I was shown through the course of this month, was that there's a deep well within you and you can't draw from an empty well. So you have to be able to go deep into your shadows, deep into your soul, deep into your unconscious even, and really ask and truly want to know the answer. What do I want? And what do I really need? And how will I feel when I get it? And take some time to ponder on those questions, Fire Family. It really helped me a lot. So I hope that helps you. So in other news, nothing else really changes. It's all basically at a standstill. I know there is some slight movements, but check it out. You got Mars moving up like 3 degrees. You got Jupiter barely moving back at all, maybe a couple minutes. Same thing with Saturn, a couple minutes. Uranus a couple minutes, Neptune a couple minutes, and then Pluto moving forward like a couple minutes. And the North Node is still at 5 Aries, South Node is still at 5 Libra. So basically our big hitters this week is the Sun, the Moon, and Venus. And let's talk about it. So I'm actually going to go day by day. Let's go back a week and let's talk about October 15th. So I brought this up at the beginning, or I should say the end of last week. Venus had some hard aspects last week when it went opposite to Uranus, and this shook up our love. This shook up our, stability. We might have had some unexpected things happen in relationships or within our finances. But at the end of the day, the interest was liberation and creating more honesty and freedom with the Venus Uranus opposition, right? Uranus has the tendency to evolve or raise the vibration of everything that it touches in interest of truth. Okay. And this was liberating our partnerships, our Venus energy. And all the while, we have Venus making a trine aspect to Neptune. I think this is very special. Neptune trine Venus. This is like boundless love, unconditional love. Can I make this red? Why not red? Does that feel right? Let me try this deeper red. I'm like experimenting a little bit. That looks like a burgundy. For those just listening, they don't even know what I'm talking about. I'm drawing all over the chart, y'all. That red didn't feel right. Let me go orange. Oh, that's too orange. I get distracted. All right, but Venus and Neptune, boundless love. And this is forgiveness. This is deep empathy. This is letting bygones be bygones, like emotion in the ocean. Just going back to becoming the ocean after you happen to be a wave, transcendent love. We love Venus. It is a very romantic, dreamy time. This might even amplify our creative energy. It's a good time for nurturing our relationships with compassion, following your artistic instincts. That's very beautiful. So tomorrow is Wednesday, the 16th, and really the action is going to hit on Thursday morning, like I said. So the crazy thing is, well, actually, I'm going to call it Wednesday night. Yeah, Wednesday night, we have Venus hitting that final degree of Scorpio. So by the time people wake up, Venus is going to be in Sagittarius. And the thing about Venus going out of Scorpio and into Sag is this changes the way we love, changes the way we value things, okay? And what's Sagittarius? Sagittarius is the archer. It's a freedom sign. It's a Jupiter sign. I mentioned Mars for Scorpio earlier. You want to watch Jupiter to understand Sagittarius, okay? Little fun fact. And the theme of Jupiter, or I should say Venus and Sag, is freedom within relationships, having meaningful partnerships. There's a spiritual undertone to Sagittarius as well. All right. And this will increase our curiosity, our willingness to learn with people. And this might even put a little bit of fire in your social life as well. So that's pretty cool. And you will want to seek intellectual connections. And I can't emphasize this enough, guys. Freedom. I could maybe even elaborate on what that means is that if you feel restricted in your partnerships or feel like you have to be less of yourself, you're going to have even less fun with them during Venus and Sagittarius. You might feel smothered. You might feel like a house with no AC when it's like 110 degrees inside. And you've also been in the house for like 2 weeks and you're bored and you just want to get the fuck out. It's kind of like that, man. And if anything, Jupiter also says the gift of giving, so Venus and Sagittarius asks about reciprocity. Are we giving in our relationships? And are we receiving in recompense? Are things reciprocal? Are they balanced? Are they fair? Do they have meaning? Are we teaching each other? Are we learning something? Are we both growing? Does this even make sense? That's Venus and Sagittarius energy. But on the same spectrum of thought, guys, I'm telling you, like polarity and probability, and there's a different word I'm looking for. Possibilities. The fact is, there's billions of people on the earth, right? And we are so unique and so different, and there's so many types of relationships. So I'm only giving you my subjective perspective. So it stands to reason that Venus and Sagittarius, and I'm trying to polarize it to stretch out of my mind, but I'm saying there's even more than what I can come up with, right? So that's why we need more astrologers to really think about this, and everybody needs to use their own mind. But I could also imagine that with Venus and Sagittarius, this could look like reckless love. Beyond purposeful partnerships, it's reckless love. It's not looking before you leap. It's overextending yourself. It's doing too much for those people in your life. You know what I mean? And you could call it crashing out in love. It's not funny, but I'm laughing regardless. Ouch. My heart hurt as I said that. Whew. So, make it make sense. You wouldn't set sail without a destination, right? You wouldn't go on a road trip without a map. So it's given, be aware of the tall, dark, handsome stranger. They might be sexy, but like, hey, what are you even doing? If it looks good, if it looks too good to be true, it might be too good to be true. And there's something to be said about Jupiter. Once again, Jupiter is a lot about philosophy and imagination too. All right. Jupiter has two homes, and that's Pisces and Sag. All right. So, also, one thing to know about loving through Jupiter is that, you know, Venus and Sagittarius could be delusional love. And watch out for this, guys. Like, the question becomes, are you in love with the real person or the person you've made them up to be in your head? That's something to think about. Be very aware with Venus and Sag and Venus and Pisces for idealizing people, falling in love with people's potential and not really the person that they are, the stupid version that you have inside of your head. All right. So watch out for that, gang. I care. I'm looking out for you. So let's move forward a little bit to this full moon. And by the way, I posted a full breakdown for the full moon, and it's like 3 hours long, and it's for all 12 signs. So if I were you, if you want to watch the whole thing, by all means, do that. But I would watch the very beginning, get a consensus for the idea of the full moon, and then go hit the timestamp for your sign, and then go watch the breakdown. And I will literally show you how it affects your chart and how the last lunar eclipse hit you, and pull some tarot cards for you as well to see what is given. Okay. And I only crashed out like 5 times making that video. So enjoy. And this is the chart of the full moon. But like I said, there's going to be an even more in detailed video. So check it out. The full moon gives us the opportunity to be fulfilled. And this is the midway point with the lunar cycle. For the next 2 weeks after this full moon, the moon will be waning and getting smaller and smaller in the sky until we hit that new moon in Scorpio after Samhain, November 1st. Get excited, guys. I'm super jazzed about this, man. How freaking cool is that to have a new moon on a Sabbath? Oh my goodness, guys. So please, I mean, like, you don't have to listen to me. Do what you will. It's your life. But if you are magically inclined, if you are a witch, if you are a master manifester, make your offerings to the universe on the new moon, especially on Samhain, because this is the day of the dead. This is when the veil is at its thinnest. All right. This is when we honor the ancestors and those who come before. You are the ancestor, if you really think about it. The ancestors form the very basis of our being, even if we don't like our family. Same thing. It still stands to reason that we are the ancestors. So it's great to pay homage to the dead and those that have transitioned, especially those going through loss and tough times during this year. It's well worth the time just to take a moment and light a candle for the spirits, you know, and just hold space. Some of my friends do what they call a silent dinner, and they'll make dinner and they'll make an extra plate and they'll put it on the table and put a chair up to it, and they'll even put their pictures of their ancestors, and nobody talks during that dinner, but they just hold space to be with spirit. Okay. And chances are around this time, you can probably feel the veil thinning up. Weird things happen around Samhain time. Just pay attention to it. And if you feel like that's not happened to you yet, invite spirit into your life and see what happens. And get ready for a freaky time. Life is beautiful, gang. So the thing about the full moon, it really is, again, physically the time when the moon starts to shine brightest and then wane out and release light. Metaphysically speaking, this gives us an opportunity to check the seeds we've planted in the lunar cycle at the beginning during the new moon. Okay. And then we get to see, are we fulfilled at this time with this certain energy? It's a deep release with the Aries energy. And Aries is ruled by Mars. It's the first fire sign. And what I mean by both of those things is that this full moon says a lot about our energy levels. about our drive, about our life force, our will to exist. So I'm tired, Grandpa. I know you're tired. Keep showing up. It's not easy. It might be tough. When the going gets tough, the tough get going. Stay strong, Fire Family. Stay strong. Keep showing up for yourself. This full moon is conjunct to Chiron. This might make us feel the most hurt part of ourselves, too. This strikes me as the moon being about healing this time around. Healing our relationship with ourselves, healing our relationship with life, healing our relationship with purpose. Okay? And hey, beyond feeling tired and exhausted, I'm feeling like an existential tired in this collective energy. Beyond physically drained, like mentally and spiritually drained. Like, bruh, not only am I needing sleep and rest and more food and a massage, it's like I need a salt bath and I need to pause the game for a second and just sleep, and not have to think about all this fucking shit for all this time. So my best advice for you guys, it's advice I could give every single day because it works, but especially now more than ever, is to rely on your daily spiritual practices. To remember that your life is built out of the habits that you hold, right? So it's worth getting out of bed and meditating for at least 10 minutes, you know, lighting that candle, maybe making an incense offering to spirit to get that connection in there, but also to cleanse the space if you can burn incense in your place. Also, to write your ideas down in a journal, to ground yourself, to drink clean water, you know, to do the shower of light visualization when you're in the shower, etc., and so on and so forth. Go to the gym at least twice a week. Work out at least twice a week if you don't have a gym membership. The world is your gym. Everybody can get it in, right? And I've got Mars circled because I just want to reiterate the highlights, especially if you don't watch that other video. I strongly recommend you watch it though. Anytime a planet is square the new moon, or I should say the full moon, it's going to be square the sun and the moon at the same time. And this operates like a fulcrum or a very important focus with the moon. And we actually have two planets square. It's Mars and Pluto. And this is actually a really interesting thing that's going to happen in Scorpio season, Pluto opposite Mars. I talked about this in the Mars Cancer video because that's a long transit, and I'll talk about it more and more as we go, guys. But this cycle is really about stepping into our power. I'm gonna keep it a buck 50, 1,000. I'm gonna keep it 300, 3,000, 3,000,000. I cannot emphasize this shit enough. I want to start screaming and barking like a dog and crashing out so everybody hears me. Please listen, guys. The universe is begging you to step into your power. I don't know what that means to you, but what it means to me is to be intentional with everything in my life, to choose to be strong, to not self sabotage, to empty the damn tank. You understand? I know it can be hard when all you're feeling is tired and exhaustion and fatigue, but you'll look back and realize the most meaningful days of your life were the ones where you gave it your all and you rest assured. You literally were resting assured you had no more to give. That's a life with no regrets, man. And I feel like it's not what you do, it's how you do it. If you can center yourself, if you can find stability, and if you can find a way to embrace urgency, but not rush yourself at the same time, you won't even have the regret of, oh man, I wish I would have slowed down a little bit. You'd be like, I put in that work. I was very effective. I was very present and I got a lot done and I'm very happy. And I tried my best. And I got my respect for that. Okay. So Mars is the focus. And let's start there. Cutting things out of our life. In this Mars day with Mark, guys, let me tell you a secret about Mars. Mars is the Roman god of war. All right. This is destruction. And this is scary for some people. It's very high on the tree of life. You got to reach up to find it. Shout out PayPal. We just got that check. Yes, I feel blessed. Thank you, universe. I'm a money magnet. We attract it. Back to Mars. Mars is the Roman god of war. And this is a scary energy because it's destructive. But you have to remember that creation can't exist without destruction. If there was unbridled creation and nothing to be destroyed, this world would be overbuilt and there'd be just too much. There'd be too much. All right. So Mars, anytime Mars goes through any sign, it asks us to eliminate something. All right. And then it would be Cancer energy in this context. And you can almost kind of get rid of the sign placement with this major aspect and just focus on the fact that Mars is highlighted. But it's asking us to eliminate any and everything that holds us back from actual growth and integration. Okay. And I will say this is a nuanced conversation. And I'm trying to make astrology as simple as possible, simplified astrology. But at the same time, guys, you have to be willing to make sacrifices in this life. And if we just destroy and remove everything that quote unquote does not serve us, a lot of times we end up lazy, broke, alone, and tired because, oh man, having those conversations with people just didn't serve me. It made me uncomfortable. Going to the gym hurt me. It didn't serve me. I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to talk to people you know what I mean? Like taking the easy way out is kind of what I'm seeing. Like, let's not do that. At the end of the day, you do choose how hard you want your life to be. All right. And that's where I guess the ball comes into your court. What life do you want to live? It stands to reason, at least to me, that if we all come from society, we all carry a little bit of average, and we wouldn't necessarily have to try to live an average life or a good life because life is good. But if you want to live a great life, it'll take some great effort. It'll take a lot of willpower, a lot of focus, and sacrifice. And I think the most beautiful thing about Mars and Cancer is this, like as a language, as an archetype, this is intrinsic, internal, Cancer energy, moon energy, intrinsic motivation, Mars. Intrinsic, Cancer, motivation, Mars. And that's a cool phrase. Let me use polarity. Extrinsic motivation. What's the difference? Extrinsic motivation is being motivated by external factors. I'm not trying to be pedantic or mansplain this to y'all, but straight up. Like, who doesn't like to win? Who doesn't like to get a reward? Who doesn't like to get a fuck ton of money or success or accolade or praise? That's cool. All right. But at the end of the day, if you're motivated internally by your values, by integrity, by humility, by unselfishness, by discipline, you will actually go a lot further. Truly. Think about it. If you need a trophy to show up, are you going to show up every day? Or just when it's convenient or it's encouraged? Exactly, just when it's convenient or encouraged. But if you're motivated by intrinsic factors, in other words, if you've made the decision to better yourself, you'll go a lot further than those that have not done that, than those that just want to win. All right. I think the virtue here is integrity, guys. Only you know what's best for you and best for life, and you have to listen to your own conscience and just do with that what you will if it harms none. Okay. 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 And on the other side, we got Pluto. And what's kind of funny? I'm gonna rewind now for a second because when I said an intense week, guys, like let's go back to Tuesday, the 15th, and then let's go back another week. We literally had Mars square the sun all week, guys, last week. And, it's going to break out this week. It was an intense week last week, like a lot of frustration, a lot of power, a lot of aggression, a need to be free, a need to assert ourselves. I saw a lot of people just being straight up bullies and dickheads with the extra Mars energy. And I let some people have the flame too. Let me say that. And I've certainly said a lot of things that weren't nice last week, but at the same time, I meant that shit. So like I'm not apologizing to anybody I offended unless I know you personally enough for you to actually be able to have contact with me and tell me I was offended and then I can genuinely care about your feelings, but everything I say on my YouTube, everything I say in my content, I mean that shit from the bottom of my heart. All right. So this is a very interesting week because we kind of trade off last week's Mars Sun square for for the Sun Pluto square. Where at the end of this week, man, we will have the Sun at the end of Libra, making it not a trine, a square to the Pluto in the end of Capricorn. So this is an intense week as well, guys. Let's be real. This is almost as intense as the other week. And what does the Sun square Pluto mean? I mean, it means a whole lot. This means it's time to evolve. It's time to change who you are, fundamentally change your lifestyle, guys. How? That's up for you to decide. You are the creator. This is your life. I'm just living in it, right? So Pluto has this ability or tendency to amplify and intensify things. And this is the ego structure, the sun, right? Our energy as well. So once again, you could see that energy levels may be fluctuating this week. You may feel a true surge of power and energy, or you may feel depleted and exhausted some ways. At the end of the day, we still got to wake up and bear our cross like Jesus, right? So that's crazy. But also, I will just say that with this deepening and intensifying the ego, you may see people feeling totally powerless on a psychological level or feeling like a god, you know? And neither one is good or bad. Neither one is right or wrong. I'm just giving you ideas basically. So that's just what I'm seeing is that ultimately the only way to manifest in life is action. That's the sun, right? Action, action, 100%. And I mean, like, I could stop the video now. That's the point I want to be internalized by everybody. You go very far in life if you're about that action. All right. So this is about inspired action and intentional action. And also the language here would suggest death to your character, letting yourself transform. The question becomes which versions of yourself are outdated, outmoded? Have you overextended yourself? Are you playing into a fantasy or an archetype that isn't serving anymore? Or maybe it might be when the going gets rough, the rough get going. This shit might be difficult for some people because you're on your good path. I'm hearing the phoenix in my head. Like it sounds like an eagle is the way I hear phoenixes. Sounded like an eagle sound. I don't know if you guys know this, by the way, but the eagle used to be the ancient symbol for Scorpio before we actually put a scorpion there. It was an eagle. So yeah, eagle energy, rebirth, fly, all birds find the shelter when it rains, but only the eagle flies high above the clouds. You guys know what I'm saying? Probably not, and that just got weird. But hey, I could talk your ear off about this astrology all day. I do love this stuff. And I also want to highlight, a cool energy I'm seeing. We got Mercury trine Saturn. So this is a gift. Mercury's how we think, Saturn is how we stabilize a rational thought process. I should say a rational thought process. Perceiving the world objectively, presenting our ideas in a thorough, structured, organized manner. We build a lot with that. Things are going to make a lot of sense this week with Mercury trine to Saturn. I'm going to do us a little favor, okay? Because I know I've talked about some major highlights and some aspects and some angles and some cycles and all that stuff. Let me take just a second to go through all the planets, maybe besides the moon, in its sign and just kind of show you the archetypes because we're not having a lot of motion this week, okay? So just to kind of familiarize you with the cast, that would be a good idea. The sun is you. You are the center of the solar system. You are a bright star. Yes, you are. Don't you ever forget, Fire Fam. I'm talking to you. Your body is a system for your soul to incarnate here. That makes you a solar system. Humans are stars. All right. The sun is the power of creation. It's the power of identity, persona, how you identify with yourself, how you relate to life, and also the experiences you want to have. And it's Libra time for one more week. So enjoy the last week of Libra, guys. Libra is a beautiful sign. It reflects beauty. It's the sign of reflection. You have 12 signs in the zodiac, and Libra is on the exact opposite side of the wheel from the beginning. The seventh and the first are opposite. So this is all about reflection. So it not only reflects beauty, it reflects reflection. This is the external, it's the appearance, it's the relationship. This will be a theme for the rest of the week, just like the whole month we just had. So be social, have fun, be charming, love your life, see the beauty in yourself, see the beauty in everything else. Know that life is beautiful. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. If you're not seeing the beauty, change the way that you perceive things, okay? You are so beautiful. And I'm so sorry if I'm the first one who told you that today. I'm not trying to riz you up, man. I know I'm a Sigma Chad. I'm on my Duke Dennis Riz. I'm a Giga Chad. But you gotta know that you're beautiful. I know I'm so beautiful. I'm arguably the most handsome man I've ever seen. I don't think I can think about one man that's more handsome than me. Honestly, I'm not saying this just because I'm a Leo, but Facts, no printer, rats, no splinter. It means a lot to be told by me that you're beautiful, but it hits so much harder when you tell yourself that you're beautiful. That's my point. Okay. And you're the only one holding you back from seeing yourself as the most beautiful person in the entire universe. Let that sink in for a second. Let me tell you what I learned in these 26 years of being a Sun Leo person. Life literally revolves around your identity. Who you think you are is very important. Cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance. Some of you guys understand what that means, but what that genuinely means is that your mind doesn't want you to be in confusion. So, whoever you think you are down to your deepest core, you will consciously and subconsciously seek to maintain alignment with that. That's why I'm telling you, it is so important that you choose who you want to be in this life and you're all that you affirm. And when I talk about daily spiritual practices, like I mentioned earlier, what are you affirming? Drop them in the comments. Let me see your affirmations. I would love to know. I'm going to share with you my affirmations. I'm going to make another video about this and share them maybe on Instagram, but today is a good day. Life is beautiful. It's the best day of my life. I am at peace with myself. I'm at peace with the world. I know I can do anything I put my mind to. I am beautiful and I love myself so much. Yes, I do. I am powerful. I am capable of anything. My life is blessed. I am full of gratitude. I am in the right place at the right time. Everything is always working out for my best and highest good. I don't know if you guys saw that, but I actually aligned them to the planets. So my sun one says, life is good. Life is beautiful. It's the best day of my life. It feels so good to be alive. Moon says, I'm content with life. I'm at peace with myself. Mercury says, I know I can do anything I put my mind to. Venus said, I'm beautiful. I love myself. Jupiter says, I'm grateful. I'm blessed. Saturn says, I'm in the right place at the right time. You are all you affirm. So be careful what you affirm because if you do not choose affirmations, you are going to become your response to life. What? That's not the life you want to live. Because why? Life is full of bullshit. It's a beautiful gift, man, but how, like, let's be real. Life sucks, man. It does. It really fucking sucks. It's way harder than not living. Oh, yeah, I took you to Pluto there for a second, straight up. I'm gonna keep it a buck 50, 1,000. Life is effort, life is work. Yeah. So you have to create the joy. You have to remember that this is your bitch. You were playing Minecraft, dude. Right. On survival mode. You thought it was creative mode? It's creative mode in the astral plane, but in the physical, it's like hardcore survival. What the fuck? Damn. Right. So you have to create your life, affirm what you want to experience, and don't become the result of life. Be the creator, be proactive, not reactive. I think you guys see the point. And I think I nailed that coffin shut. And if Dracula comes back out, I got my spikes ready, man. And we might bust down on that hoe. You know? Let's talk about the moon. The moon is the ebb and the flow. That's how we go. It's the cycles, the tides, the rhythm. And like I said, guys, we got an interesting moon week because where we start the week, the moon is waxing and it's about to pop. We start with the moon in Aries. A couple of days later, I should say, really, in about a day after Tuesday, moon pops Wednesday night, Thursday morning, full moon, climax, release, moon jelks and edges, and oh my God, it's messy. Go get a towel. Oh Lord, fire energy, Mars energy, sexy ass full moon. Oh, oh my God. I've been taking cold showers every day, man. It is not enough. It's not enough. Somebody help. And don't help me. Actually, I'm okay. I'm celibate. I'm not fucking with you beaches. Oh man. I got jokes, man. Isn't that funny? But the moon, and then it's crazy because after the moon goons, you got the moon waning, and the moon has to catch its breath for a second. Freaky ass moon. Oh my God. So basically, guys, the message there is go with the flow. We got an interesting week. We got a waxing, waning, and a full moon, or I should say, waxing, full, and waning moon in this week. So you getting the taste of the triple goddess. So get excited. Mama's coming home. Yes, we miss her. And what about Mercury and Scorpio? Mercury is how we think, is how we perceive. We talked about this a little bit. Mercury and Scorpio is thinking very deep, thinking very serious. Sometimes with Mercury and Scorpio, it's hard to see gray areas. Everything is polarized and extreme. You might trade one extreme for another. And this can help us with the penetrating insight, but sometimes shit is not that deep, y'all. You could really be overthinking, especially with Jupiter in Gemini, which is ruled by Mercury. I think this is prime time overthinking energy, and we would do well to simplify a lot of things within our lives. Okay. Venus, we already talked about that a lot. That was a focus. Okay. So I don't think I got to really say too much. Love yourself on the deepest level and free your heart. Scorpio, Sagittarius, respectively. All right. And then we got Jupiter, which is all about learning. It's all about philosophy. And this is kind of where the cutoff point, where the stuff stops moving, right? Jupiter is our worldview. It's how we find faith in life, how we find meaning in life. And the meaning in life comes through learning right now. Gemini energy. All right, gang. So if you feel like you're stuck in life, maybe you're not enriching your mind enough. That's my hypothesis. Is that there's too many books. There's too much content on this world. There's too many courses. There's too many places to go, people to meet, conversations to be had to feel meaningless or to feel lost. I mean, if anything, you can be swimming full of ideas and that can be confusing, but just know that life has so much to teach you. So get excited to learn. What about Saturn? Saturn is a little more serious, not in a bad way, but it's just really real. What we consider reality is really a Saturn phenomenon. And that's a trip. That's really something to sit there and ponder on. Truly. The fact is, guys, this has a ring around its body, and it's the last planet you can see without the telescope. So Saturn really says something about objectivity or limitations within life. And limitations are necessary in order for us to build and interact with the world. Okay. So Saturn in Pisces, or I should say Saturn anywhere, really gives us an opportunity to learn something, to master something in order to grow in responsibility. And this is in the Pisces energy. So Pisces is the final sign. It has everything to do with spirituality, empathy, and belief systems and sacrifice, guys. So the thing about Saturn and Pisces is on the deepest level, let me get straight to the point. You got to have faith in life, man. You have to literally believe in life, in a higher power. I'm not going to tell you what to believe or what to label it as or how to define it because words are limiting by their very nature. That's the beauty of them. But at the end of the day, man, there's something beyond you, and that's why you exist. You make a decision. Does everything matter or does nothing matter? Which one is more empowering? It's for you to decide. I won't even answer that question because, we have different definitions of power anyway. Either one could be an empowering one. Now that I think about it, so I just encourage you to work on faith, work on seeing the big picture, and also honor your sacrifices with Saturn and Pisces. Get some more love in your life. Have some compassion. A lot of people like the burden could also be the Saturn phenomenon. I feel like the burden for a lot of us with Saturn and Pisces, just feeling super lonely in this universe, beyond disconnected from people, disconnected from the higher power or the powers that be or spirituality or spirit. And it is a cold, hard world when you feel alone with people, but also a cold, dead world when you feel like God doesn't love you. And that's rough, man. So I don't wish that on y'all. I don't. Okay. So Saturn and Pisces, love yourself. Try not to martyr yourself. The highest form of success is contribution, but do not overextend yourself. The best thing you can give the world is an example. So lead by example and show others how to be strong. Okay. And that can bring more meaning into your life. Let's also talk about Uranus. These outer planets move a lot slower, guys. So do understand while they may be more hard to relate to personally, they are definitely going to be cultural dynamics and they'll still transit your chart and aspect certain planets within your natal chart too. So very important to look at. And you have these planets in your chart regardless. So Uranus is really about the change the world is making right now. And this is the last year of Uranus and Taurus, probably for the rest of most of our lives. It's an 84-year cycle, Uranus around the sun. Uranus and Taurus, it's been here for about the last 6 years, guys, 5 to 6. And Uranus and Taurus has changed a lot of things in the world, guys. Think about 5 years ago, how different things were in 2019. Oh my goodness. Before we got locked down for years, before we went through another election in America, like so much changes within the span of 5 years. But the values have changed, our stability has changed, the internet has evolved so much, technology has evolved, and times are changing really fast. I'm not even trying to be vague or far out, guys, but that's kind of what this archetype revolves around. Taurus, Earth, changing and elevating, Uranus, instability in the collective, you know? So it strikes to me as the challenge here is to be comfortable with the uncertainty and to remain calm in the storm, to chill the fuck out, to find some solace within yourself, to touch some grass, to raise your vibration, to ground yourself, eat better food, sleep a little better, take care of yourself, value yourself even more. You understand? And then also the value of community. United we rise, divided we fall. You see what I'm saying? We could go way off into that and talk about that for eons, man. But let's talk about Neptune. Neptune is really far out. To me, the key word is culture because it takes about 150 to 160 years for Neptune to spin the sun. All right. So the sign placement of Neptune is really going to show the dream, the culture is manifesting. And this is it's a vision, a dream, Pisces. It's a dream of transcendental beauty. It's a dream of unity. It's a dream of singularity. And I've been seeing, mass spiritual awakening in a lot of people's lives. Of course, I am who I am and I'm really no thing. But at the same time, if I had to label myself on earth, I would say I'm Mark. I'm 26. I'm an astrologer. I'm an author. I'm a tarot reader. I'm a magician. I'm a Reiki master. I do a lot of woo woo shit, right? So by virtue of that woo woo shit, I would attract a lot of woo woo wooks. You know what I mean? And that's cool. So I know my vibe attracts my tribe, but and it just is by virtue I'll see a lot of these people. But it seems like even in the culture, in the collective, in the phraseology and the trends nowadays. Everybody's talking about manifestation. Everybody's talking about their imagination and their powers to create. Spirituality is on the rise, man. The collective conscience is elevating, and that's beautiful. And let me also say that, this is Neptune sextile Pluto. People are realizing they create their reality, their power is within them. And this is going to have a profound impact on the earth for generations to come. Because you thought the Indigo children were special. They're going to be nothing like these Pluto and Aquarius kids. The Indigo children walked so they could run. You hear what I'm saying? I heard the eagle screech again, dude. The eagle loved that shit, apparently. Oh my goodness. He was super happy. He's like, he's so happy. He's like, yes, evolution is the only solution. It's about that time. So let me also say, gang, that one thing about Neptune and Pisces, because I try to be positive, but I'm also going to polarize once again, just to show you that it can be deeper than what I'm saying. And there's so many ways to look at anything. But Neptune and Pisces could also say that this culture has a level of delusion that it's falling under. This need to be transcendent, to hope, to wish for something beyond, it can make us neglect the actual world that we live in. We can be irresponsible. We can be straight up delusional and stupid sometimes just because we want to live in a fantasy world as opposed to a real world, right? And I know that the mental, causal, imagination plane, astral plane envelops the physical. So there is some truth to the reality of imagination, but at the same time, the earth is the densest plane, and everything physical will have a metaphysical counterpart, but not everything metaphysical will have a physical counterpart. Run that back if you need to. I might say it another way. So there's a lot of stuff that exists in the astral plane that has never become physical. Think about it this way, man. Every time you think, you're in the astral plane, right? Now think about the craziest daydream you had where like Clifford the big red dog was driving the school bus and then the school bus started flying through the sky. It's like, thank God that didn't manifest in the physical world, right? Exactly what I mean, dude. If every one of your weird ass dreams manifested in the physical, we would have a hard time getting around here, guys. Like, you know what I mean? So it's great to have planes of density. And also I want to say that Neptune and Pisces can be very disillusioning because Neptune and Pisces, it's both of these archetypes can talk about imagery, media, cameras, content, things of that nature. So I feel like a sign of the times, we are more connected than we've ever been before. And it's so easy to compare yourself to people's lives on the internet when they're showing you a very specific, choreographed part of their life, the highlight reel. They're showing you the best parts of it. They're not showing you them sweating. They're not showing you the negative parts. Everything's been photoshopped and touched up and sound altered and sound design and hue and adjustment and saturation has been altered. And it's like a lot of this shit is fake, y'all. A lot of us are comparing ourselves to fake things and standards of perfection that don't exist in humanity, making us feel disillusioned with ourselves because it's not what's being fed to us in front of our eyes. It's kind of hard for us to be human right now with this Neptune and Pisces because of this spiritual vision of perfection. Okay. So I hope this got real enough for you guys because I feel hopelessness in the collective. I've been overcoming my own hopelessness through, genuine self love and acceptance and inspired action and just comparing myself to who I was yesterday. But I feel in my heart of hearts, because I'm a Pisces Jupiter and South Node. Jupiter at 27 degrees, right on Neptune is speaking to me, man. And I just feel this world feeling so hopeless right now, man. And it hurts. So I just want people to have faith in life, have faith in themselves, and know that you'll win. Just take it a day at a time. You got this shit. We're going through interesting changes, guys. Pluto is at the last degree of Capricorn. I'm going to talk about this in the notes. I'm going to sign off, okay? Pluto takes 250 years to orbit the sun. So it's a long grind. And generally speaking, it takes generations for evolution to become, all right? For the changes to actually get made. And sometimes you don't get to really see what Pluto's doing until the kids born in that transit assume positions of power later on in their life, in their 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s or later. All right. So Pluto and Capricorn, and mind you, this has been over a decade. Pluto and Capricorn, am I wrong? I might be exaggerating. It's been many years. Pluto has an elliptical orbit, so it doesn't spend the exact amount of time, equal amount of time in every sign. I think Pluto went into Capricorn around 2008. So yeah, over 10 years. I don't know why my math got weird, but I digress, y'all. Pluto in Capricorn has everything to do with changing governmental structures. And it can seem right now like this world is very corrupt, like the system has become oppressive. And I think it doesn't take a wise man or a scholar or a scribe or a mystic to see this. Nah, you can just open your eyes and see it, man. Like it's the matrix. It's like the government doesn't give a fuck about you. And we create the government. Let's be real. But at the same time, it's these top-down structures, Capricorn energy, the goat, the one at the top, abusing with power, Pluto energy. Pluto shows what needs to like, and think about evolution for a second. I say this word so fast and so nonchalant. The simple meaning of evolution is that only the strong survive. And that's cold, but I'm going to give it to you raw. Only the strong survive. And on some level, that would say that the strong dominate the weak and have no sympathy for the weak. The strong don't want sympathy. It doesn't even feed into their game, right? So at this point, guys, we're transitioning from Capricorn to Aquarius. We'll have 20 years of Pluto in Aquarius, and this says everything about freeing the human spirit. All right. But also think about where we are right now, 2024. Artificial intelligence is at an all-time high. Technology is peaking, and it doesn't seem to be going any slower. It seems to be speeding up. So labor is automating, which is a good thing, in my opinion. Like it's going to be easier for us to get by, but the demand on our human intellect is going to be altered. Some of us are going to really succumb to the brain rot during Pluto and Aquarius because there won't be any need to think for ourselves, and that's kind of a scary thought. But at the same time, there will be a lot of inspired, prolific, beautiful people that use technology as an extension of their own mind and go a lot further with these resources. Okay. If your mind can't think for itself, it's absolutely useless. So that's my real message to the world right now is that united we rise, divided we fall. And freedom comes with a price. And we all have to step up and do our part and use our voices when it comes to the governmental structures to advocate for the policies that we wish to abide by in the world and put our foot down. And, I don't like to play into this dualistic, woe is me, the man, etc., is trying to get one off me. But at the same time, Pluto and fucking Capricorn, guys, let's be real. So if the game is played on our backs, if we all stand the fuck up, it's going to be over for the game, but it takes courage. Fear is the key to oppression. Remember that in your own life. Unindoctrinate, decolonize your own mind. That's really the T. Decolonize your own fucking mind. Pluto and Aquarius out. I love you guys from the depths of my soul, Mr. Meyer with the fire. Take your vibration higher. I know you will manifest everything you desire in your lifetime, fire family. And I want you to comment if you made it this far. I know that I will, with a fire emoji. So I know you saw this. Blessed be, blessed we.